Hey, this is Andrew Brown. In this video, we're going to take a look at ElasticCache. So ElasticCache is a service that can have a managed version of either Redis or Memcache. And one of the caveats is that you have to have it in the same region in order to utilize it. So that is something that is very important to know. But let's go ahead and do this. Now, normally I would do things programmatically. I think for this, yeah, we could still do it programmatically. I think we'll just go ahead and use the CLI for this, as I don't want to do CloudFormation templates for ElasticCache. There is another service that AWS has called MemoryDB if you just want to have Redis. So you can use either or, just depending on what your use case is. If it is Redis, MemoryDB supposedly is easier to use. I guess we'll find out if we make a follow along here. But let's go take a look at where ElasticCache is. So we'll just keep typing ElasticCache. And when I sat the server, what was surprising is that they didn't have a simplified, highly available distributed caching instance with no servers, announcing ElasticCache Serverless. What? Caching which enables... Okay, but then what's the difference between MemoryDB? All right, sure. I mean, hey, I like that idea. That sounds good to me. But does it scale to 0? Does that... ElasticCache Redis for service enables you to create highly available cache in under a minute and eliminates the need to provision instance or configure nodes or clusters. I mean, that sounds a lot better than configuring clusters, so maybe we'll go ahead and give that a go, as that sounds like something I would really prefer to do. So, but I guess how would you set that up? I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to go ahead and just take a look here. And so, yeah, they have a serverless cache, or you can design your own cache where you have a cluster. So we'll go ahead and make a new folder here. We'll just say ElasticCache. And we'll just call this basic. And I'll just make a README in here because, again, I don't want to make a CloudFormation template. I just want to get this stuff set up. So we'll type in AWS CLI version 2, and we'll make our way over to the version reference. And in here, I'm going to go over to AWS. And what I'm looking for is cache. So we have ElasticCache down here. And the question is there like something for serverless here? Oh, there is right here. Create serverless cache. Let's go ahead and try that out. And do we have any examples? No. AWS is too lazy to give us examples, so we'll have to figure this out ourselves. We can probably go ahead and just use the our tool here. So we have AWS, create serverless cache. So say AWS ElasticCache, create serverless cache. Okay. And so we need the serverless cache name. My cache AB, a couple letters here. So we'll go ahead and grab this in next. And we need to specify the engine. Okay, what are our engine's options? Does not say. So we'll go back over to here and we'll look at engine options. The name of the cache engine to be used for creating the cache, serverless cache. Okay, what are my options? So clearly it must be so new that it doesn't even tell us here. And somewhere in here must tell us how to specify the engine. So let's go look up ElasticCache Serverless, because there might be a blog post. Anytime AWS releases something new, they'll have a blog post. Yeah, so 2023, not that long ago from this time date. And they're using everything via the CLI. See, I would have thought engine would have been like engine version here. So, well, that's major engine version. So I'm going to take a guess here. They're not really saying, but we're going to say Redis because it's either Memcache or Redis. And then we'll say major engine version. So major engine version. And I'm going to match the version they have in this blog post. So this is 1.6.21. Well, hold on. Is that Redis? Oh, that's a Memcache. That's a Memcache one. So how would we know what versions we have here? So maybe if we go here, we could just take a look. So serverless new cache. Okay. But how do I know? How do I know what version it's using? It's not telling me anywhere here. Would I have to go to the next step? Engine version 7. Okay. So is memcache not allowed here anymore? Hold on here. Design your own cache. Because it used to be like Redis or memcache. And so I'm noticing here it says options to create a Redis cache. Oh, maybe because when we went through the UI. Okay, so I really don't like these UI changes. They really serve no purpose. But anyway, we're using engine 7, I believe. Version is 7, so we'll go ahead and do that. So 7 here. Yeah, it's sometimes how it is when things are not fully documented. Is there anything else that we need to specify? We'll give it a space here. Cache usage limits. Set the cache usage limits for storage. I don't care about that. So I think we have everything. A list of identifiers and subnets where the VPC endpoint for the serverless cache is. I wonder if we don't set that, if we have any way of accessing this. Because these things are usually a pain to access. So I'm looking for, what was it? They said subnets. A list of identifiers of the subnets where the VPC endpoint for the serverless cache will be deployed. All subnet IDs must belong to the same VPC. So it doesn't say this is required, but we'll go ahead and just hit enter and see what happens. And it did create, so that's pretty cool. And it looks like it's choosing the default subnets. I mean, that's my guess. We could probably check and just just see here. Assuming this is in CA Central 1, which is where I'm expecting it to deploy. But we'll go over to our VPC. And yeah, so this is one of the subnets there, so that's good. And so we'll go back over to our Redis cache here. Never used the serverless version before, but I'm really interested. And so it looks like it has to get running up and provisioning, so that's fine. So we'll just give it a moment to get going here, okay? All right, so this appears to be available, and we have an endpoint to access this here. So generally when ever I've tried to utilize ElasticCache, you've always had to access it via the same VPC. So this point here is not going to be accessible, but we can try and test it here to see what happens. Question is, do we have Redis installed? No, so we'll just go ahead and say brew Redis. Redis client, I think, is how we install that. So we'll go ahead and try that. No, not RPKI. So install Redis client Ubuntu or Debian. Yeah, it could be this as well. So we'll go ahead and try this out. Install Redis client Ubuntu. Okay, and so we'll just say yes here. So probably do a -y. And I just want to see that it doesn't work. That's what's important here. So we'll go ahead and we will grab this endpoint. And so I think it's just like Redis client. It says we installed it. So we go here. Or yeah, Redis CLI. I guess that's what I'm thinking of. So we'll just type in Redis CLI. Probably didn't want the tools. Install. And we'll go over here. And we'll go to Linux. I guess here it just says Redis. It's not even tools. So we'll go ahead and copy this, I guess. And we'll see if this works. So we'll grab the first one. A lot of work just to get this installed, but we'll do what it asks. So we'll paste this one in. And then we'll grab the next one. It says the GPG failed. I'm just going to try to install it. It's going to skip all those steps. Maybe we'll just install it. There we go, it installed it. Okay. Do we get Redis CLI now? This thing is bugging out as per usual. It does look like it tried to make it a connection, so that is good. So I think that probably the way it works is we didn't need all this junk here. We'll take that out there. But as far as I remember, the way we connect to Redis is we just provide the link. So we just say like Redis CLI, and so that should establish a connection. Connect to instance. And so I expect this to fail because, like, why would it? You know what I mean? Why would it? So yeah, connection refused, which makes sense. So the real question will be, like, how can we test this ourselves? And so I think what I'll do is I'll go over to ChatGPT and I'll ask it to generate out a Docker Compose file to run Redis 7. Okay, and so this will be our means for testing it. So once we have a Docker Compose file, we can launch up Redis ourselves. Great, I'm just hoping that this works. I don't know if version 3.8 is the latest for Docker, but it should be fine. 6379 is the default port. Data, that looks all good. So we'll go ahead and copy this. And I'll go back here and we'll just make a new file here. We'll say Docker Compose YAML. And we'll paste this in here. I'll save it. We'll say Docker Compose up. And we have to cd into our ElasticCache directory here. And so that's now pulling down the image. And now it's running on port 6379. So the idea is that we should be able to connect to that. So I'm going to go over to another one here. We'll type in Redis CLI 21.7.0.0.1. What was it? 6379. 6379. We'll try this first. Okay, that didn't work. Something special we have to specify for the endpoint. Doesn't seem like it. Try 000. No, how about localhost? All right, so let's go take a look at how this actually is supposed to work. Redis CLI, let's just say help. I'm not using Redis on a day-to-day. But let's go take a look here. So Redis CLI options. We have hostname, port. The default is 21.7.0.0.1, and the default port is 6379. So it seems like it's already defaulted to do that, and we could provide the username and password. Obviously, we don't configure any of that, so that is pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do is go ahead here and just type in Redis CLI, and that should enter us into Redis there, and so we are in there. I don't remember Redis off the top of my head, so we'll go take a look at some commands. It should be very straightforward. I've done it before. So set key name hello. So let's just say set hello world. There we go. We'll say get hello. There we go. Great. So Redis is working locally. I'm going to just type in exit here. We'll type in clear. And so the idea is that we still, again, want to connect to this one here. And all we really need here is the actual host. So go ahead and change that out there. Again, I'm not expecting this to work, but I just want to test it. Okay, great. So it says that's not possible. Was it like host name? Let's try this again here. Oh, -H. Okay. And so we'll go ahead and copy this. Go all the way down to the ground. We'll paste it in. We'll hit enter. And so this shouldn't work because the only thing that should be able to connect to it is something that's in the same VPC as this. So this is going to hang, which is totally fine. Since we're doing serverless, I'm just going to rename this to serverless because I have a feeling we're going to do the cluster. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just save this so far. So basic setup, basic ElasticCache, EC. And so what we're going to need is an EC2 instance because we're going to want to have to log into that. So we already have some code laying around for this. I'll just say template.yaml. And we recently set one up in, well, definitely did one in Knackle. So let's go grab that one. I think we can pretty much use everything here. The only thing that I don't want is the user data script here. So we don't need this. Okay. And these are not up to date. I remember we had recently done this with the default VPC with ELB. So I'm just going to go in here and grab it from here. Just going to go here and grab some of these values. Just see, making sure nothing's hard coded here. Yeah, so I just want to go ahead and grab this here. This one seems to be the same. I'll just grab a subnet one here. Oops. We'll go ahead and try that again. Okay, so yeah, so we'll be able to log into that instance. And the thing is that when we launch up ElasticCache, normally we'll have a security group with it. Let's see if it actually does. It's using this one. Is this just the default one? This is the default security group. So I think in this case, we'll go ahead and use the default security group. And I'm just going to change this to be, we'll just say like security group ID. And we'll go down here and just say type string default. We'll paste this in here. And what I'll want to do is just reference that here. Okay, and so if they're in the same security group, then they should be able to talk to each other. Okay, so that looks good to me. I think that is fine. This is not actually referencing the group. We want to place this here. Okay, we'll go ahead and create a deploy script. It probably would have been hard to make it a CloudFormation template, but whatever. Deploy EC2 instance to log in to interact with Redis. I might also want to install the Redis client. So Redis client install Amazon Linux 2023. It would be nice to know what we need to do to install that. I'm hoping that we can just do this. It depends on how old this is, but I'm going to give it a go and see if that works. If it doesn't, that's totally fine, but we'll try here. So we'll go here and I'm going to go ahead and grab the other one here, wherever it is. Down below here, I want to just get that user data, the start of it. And then we'll go back to our serverless one here. We'll just hit paste. Okay, and so we definitely know that we need to do sudo yum update. I don't think we need GCC, but we are going to need Redis for sure. And this is the old way of doing it. So I'm pretty sure that is not correct. Yeah, this looks correct to me. And technically, we can use yum, I think, but DNF is what is the new one. And for some reason, I just don't seem to do that very often. So we can go ahead and copy this code here because that looks like the right stuff to me here. Okay. Sudo yum, sudo DNF update maybe. Did they do an update on that? No, they didn't, but they just installed it. But it should work fine. Was that one up? Yeah, that one was up to date here. So I think this is what we want our script to do. But anyway, we'll go back over to here. We'll just say deploy EC2 instance to interact with that. So just be like EC2 for ElasticCache for Redis. Say EC2 for Redis, okay? And so I'll just chmod that once we get into that directory here. So we'll say ElasticCache Serverless chmod u plus x deploy. And we'll go ahead and deploy that. We'll make our way over to a CloudFormation. And I'm going to go ahead into here, and we're going to go to the change set, take a look here. We have our instance. Let's go ahead and deploy that. And so we'll wait for that to deploy, okay? All right, looks like we're having some trouble with our instance. I mean, the only thing we set was that user data. The subnet doesn't exist. So I guess I must have set that incorrectly. We'll go all the way back to the top here. I mean, I thought it would, but I guess it didn't. So we'll go ahead and just copy this one, I suppose. Copy that one. We'll go back over to here, and we will paste this in. Excellent. While we're here, we might as well just check the VPC. Since I don't trust it. It looks like it's wrong as well. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do that. And, you know, I've said this multiple times, I like T3s, so I'm going to switch over to T3s. We'll go ahead and tear down this other stack. Okay, and we'll give this another attempt at deployment. There we go, and we'll just give it a moment, okay? Well, first, obviously, we have to accept the change set. All right, and then I'll be back here in just a moment, okay? All right, so our web server appears to be ready. We'll go over to EC2 and go and use Sessions Manager to gain access. Whether it installed Redis, we won't know until we go into that. I'm just going to go ahead and just say Redis client server. And we'll go ahead and connect. We'll say sudo su-ec2 user, and we'll type in clear, and we'll type in Redis client, and I'm just going to type in help to see if it shows up. So that command is not showing up. Well, sorry, it should be CLI, and it's not there. So it makes me think that our installation script did not work as expected, which is fine. What we'll do is just run it line by line and see what the issue is. So the first would be to install, well, that says Redis 6, and we're actually using Redis 7. So I'm going to go ahead and just take out the 6 on that. And let's see what happens. If we go ahead and do this, we'll paste this in here. Oh, okay. I thought this is a 2023 instance. I'm surprised it's not working with that, but we'll go ahead and Amazon 2 Core. Is this not an Amazon 2023 instance? Let's go here and take a look. So what I'm looking for here is the instance type. T3 micro. Instance details. Our AMI is right here. Oh, this is Amazon Linux 2. Well, I don't want 2. I want 2023. Let's go ahead and go here. And I want 2023. I'm going to go ahead and copy this AMI. I'm not sure how we ended up with 2. I guess maybe we must have used it prior. So we'll go back over to our script here. And I'm going to go update this value. Okay. Because DNF is not available on Amazon Linux 2. Surprisingly, none of our other tutorials mucked up, but it really depends on what you're doing. So we'll go over to, actually we can just update this in place because that's all we have to do really. So I'm gonna go ahead and deploy this again. And we'll go over to CloudFormation. And we'll go over to our change set and we will click into it. It should replace it. Doesn't say it is, but it is gonna replace it. So we'll just wait for that to update, okay? All right, so our instance apparently is updated. We're gonna give this a refresh here. Notice that it is initializing. At least it kept the name, so that is really nice. I'm going to click into here. I want to make sure that it is using the newer AMI. And so we can do that by looking at the instance profile. Here, we'll click through that. And so now this is Amazon. Still says Amazon 2. So did it actually pick this up is my question here. This one says EE5C, and then the other one here is clearly not that. So am I in the wrong file here? No, I'm not, and this has definitely been updated. So what I'm going to have to do here is just destroy it because it's clearly not picking it up. And so I'm just going to delete this, and we'll just wait a moment, okay? All right, let's take a look here. And okay, the stack is now deleted, so we can go back over here. And this time, we should be in better shape. Come on. That's fine that that's gone. No, it should be creating it. There we go. And we'll go ahead and execute that change set, and we'll be back here in just a moment when this is provisioned. All right, so let's go take a look at our new EC2 instance. And so here it is, good. I'm still wondering if the last one actually might have worked, because it makes me think that maybe we just didn't refresh the browser here. I really don't trust our browser. I'm going to give this a hard refresh here. And we'll click into this. And so this should be utilizing 2023, right? So we go here. Amazon Linux 2. What is going on here? Am I crazy? We went to instances, right? Mm-hmm. What's going on, AWS? It's now not showing me all the instances. Okay, let's go back to instances here. Launch an instance. 2023, right here. And then this is the code I used, right? Read more, 2023 kernel. Okay. What we can do is check the template as well. So this one is using that code here. Usually this is not a problem. Okay. And we'll go back over to here. So it is that one there. AMI 0156BC. Yeah. Okay. I think that's the same, right? EE5C, EE5C. Yeah, that's our template. We go over to EC2. That's not EC2. We go back over to EC2 here. Refresh. We're checkboxed on that one, right? Okay, 2023. All right. So not sure what the confusion was, but anyway, the point is that now it should have the instance that we want. Hopefully the Redis CLI is installed so we can focus on what's really important in here. We're gonna go ahead and type in sudo su ec2 user, and I'm looking for Redis CLI, so we'll go ahead and do that. Does not look like it's installed, so that is fine. We will walk our way through this these commands and see what we need to do. I'm just going to try the first one and see where it starts to fail. Okay, that one's good. We did take off the number 6 on there, so maybe there's like a 7 or something that we need to do here. Enter. So no argument. What if we put 7 on that? Okay, what if we want to install Redis? So there is no Redis that we can install on here. Okay, Amazon, or we'll just say Redis install version 7. Okay, so I'm looking for the install steps. We got 7.2. Okay, where's my steps to do this? Install Redis CLI. We'll go here. We're on Linux. This one in particular is for Debian. We need this installation instructions for CentOS. So Redis 7 CentOS install. Okay, anybody that solves it for us is great. Is that going to really work? Because I'm pretty sure that the EPL does not work with Amazon Linux 2023, because they've told us that so many times. So we'll just say Amazon Linux 2023 install. Okay, so this is a case where I don't want to fiddle with this all day. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the instance. I'm not going to launch an Amazon Linux 2023. I'm going to launch something with Ubuntu or Debian so that our lives are way easier. And so there's Ubuntu right there. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. And I'm going to go and grab this. I'm just going to delete this stack here. And we'll go back over to here and we will paste in our image ID up here. Okay, and we'll go back to the installation steps. And so here is Snap. Snap might be part of the new Ubuntu. So I'm going to give it a go and hopefully it will install it via Snap. If not, we'll run those commands manually. So go back to our template here. We'll just paste this in sudo snap install. Snap is a alternate package manager, and I think the latest Ubuntu should have it. So we'll go back over to here. We'll give this a refresh. We'll wait for that to tear down, okay? All right, so that's tear down. We'll go back and launch this Ubuntu instance, and hopefully we'll have an easier time getting the Redis CLI to work. And hopefully it's easy to just connect to our ElasticCache serverless version. So we'll just wait here for a second, and we'll go ahead and accept the change set. And we'll let that get going here, okay? All right, so our instance should be running. We'll make our way over to EC2 again for the billionth time. And so here we have our running instance. I'm going to go ahead and connect to it. And this one is Ubuntu, so it's probably not going to use the EC2 user. So we'll probably type in Ubuntu. There we go. And so I want to see if Redis CLI is there. Nope. So yeah, here it's saying sudo apt-get install Redis tools. Sure, if it works. Redis tools. So we're going to install that there. Okay. How about just Redis? Sudo snap install Redis. Redis is already installed. Okay. Redis then. I mean, I want to use the Redis CLI. Okay, but it just told me I can do this. It's like, the Snap store provides Redis packages that can be installed on a platform that supports Snap. Cool. Well, that's not really helping me too much. So I'm going to go ahead and say sudo snap uninstall Redis. I wonder if I can do that. Nope. All right, I'm going to just try to manually install. This might muck things up, but we'll see what happens here. So we'll try out this first command. And then we'll try the next command. And we'll try the next command. The problem is that we've already installed it, so I kind of feel like it's going to conflict. This is supposed to not have this echo part in it. And I don't think it's supposed to have that on the end there. Nope. They could have made this a little bit easier for me to copy paste, but whatever. We'll copy this again. Right click paste, enter. Okay. We'll do this. And even though if Redis is installed, what I'm looking for is that CLI tool, right? So that's what I'm hoping for here. We'll give this a moment to do its thing. There we go. That was quick. We'll say yes. And it was showing us what it's installing here. So no app report indicated following errors while processing Redis server Redis. I just want the CLI tool. So I don't know if that actually worked, but we'll go ahead and just type this in. There we go. Okay, great. Now, it seems like we're also running a Redis server, which is not exactly what I wanted, but that is totally okay. So what I want to do is I want to remotely connect to our Redis instance in ElasticCache. So we'll go over to ElasticCache. And we'll go ahead and grab the endpoint. We don't need to specify the port because it looks like it's using the default port, but just in case, we might do that in a moment here, but we'll go ahead and hit Redis. This is now not responding for some reason. Great, so we'll just terminate that and we'll reconnect to our, oh, are we over here? That's why. I just had another tab open, I guess. And so we'll try this, we'll hit enter. And we'll be very explicit about our port as well, just in case this is an issue. Oh, no, it connected. Okay, so we'll say set hello world. A little bit slow, but as long as we're connected, that's all that matters. Server closed the connection. This used to happen to be quite a bit, and it's usually when I would configure a Rails app to talk to ElasticCache, and what it would normally have to do is with encryption. So that's probably our issue here. So just give me a moment to see what we can do. Interesting enough here for Amazon Linux 2023, it just tells you to install Redis 6, which is whatever, that's fine. The only difference here is that they're putting --TLS on this. So let's go ahead and try that. So I'll just type exit here and we'll go hit --TLS. And now it instantly connected. So that's great. So we'll say hello world. Great. And so now we're writing to our remote cache. And so that's all there is to it. Would the Redis 6 work with Redis 7? I'm not 100% sure. But obviously Redis 6 is easy to install in Amazon Linux 2023. But I think that serves as our purpose here. There's like no way to really see the data here, so it's not going to help us in any other way, like to explore the data, but that's all I really wanted to show you. So what we'll do is go ahead and delete this. We don't want to back up. We'll go ahead and delete our cache. And we're going to go ahead and tear this instance down. So we'll go back here and we'll just delete that. And I'm just going to update this to have the proper install here. Here, yep. Since sudo snap was kind of useless for us. Go paste that in. There we go, but we can use a server for other things. Say ElasticCache. There we go, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.